Hello, I'm Richie Humley, and I'm here with Amy Thompson-Wells, the Director of Civic Engagement and Student Leadership at Lindsey Wilson College. We are featuring Amy as part of our First Generation Friday feature. Amy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, my name is Amy Thompson-Wells, and not only am I the Director of Civic Engagement and Student Leadership, but I'm also co-director of the Bonner program here at Lindsey Wilson. I have been at Lindsey Wilson, this November it will be 13 years. Actually, if you count the time that I was a student here, it will be 18 years. So Lindsey Wilson's been my home for a long time now. I've spent half my life here. I'm married to Chris Wells, who is the Sports Information Director here at Lindsey. My mother, Nancy Sinclair, she is the Executive Assistant to the President. So we like to say we have a little family affair going on here. I have a 9-year-old little girl, and I've got a little boy on the way. He'll be here October 30th.
So you mentioned that you went to school here at Lindsey.
I did.
What was your degree in?
I came to Lindsey Wilson in 1994, and I decided that I wanted to major in biology. So that's what I got my major in. I majored in biology. I minored in chemistry. And at that time, we had an agribusiness degree, which a lot of people don't know about. But I got my associates in agribusiness as well. And I was an ag girl in high school, loved FFA. But I had every intention to go to nurse practitioning school. That's what I wanted to do. And Carl Miller, who was director of admissions at the time, he hired me as a Kentucky work study in the admissions office, and I fell in love with higher education. So when it came time to graduate, they offered me a position, a full-time position, and so that's why I didn't continue in the medical field, because I loved higher education. So that's why I'm here at Lindsey right now.
So when you were a student, did you participate in any clubs or extracurricular activities?
Yes. Whenever I came to Lindsey, and I'm just going to be honest, the main reason I came to Lindsey was because my mother worked here. I always thought I wanted to go to the University of Kentucky, something like that. But I came here because of my mother. But I was a big softball player in high school. And the coach here at Lindsey Wilson offered me a scholarship to come and play softball here. And it was during the time when there was a transition between slow pitch and fast pitch. So I joined the softball team. I only lasted 1 year on the softball team. Because I got so involved in other things. Like I was part of Alpha Phi Omega, which was a service club at the time. I was part of the President's Colloquium. And some of these things probably are sounding foreign to you because we don't have them now. But again, that's been 18 years ago. So, so I was very involved on campus.
So think back to your first year in college. Tell me a little bit about what that was like.
Wow, what that was like. Gosh, it's going to be hard to believe, but I still remember what I was wearing my first day of college, because I was trying to treat it like high school too. But I can remember going into Dr. Stewart's biology class, being a little apprehensive, not really knowing what to expect. And because the classes were so small, and I love Dr. Stewart too, I felt at home. I felt at home here, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else, like at a big university, because it was so welcoming, and I just felt comfortable. Within the first week, I felt like I was at home.
So what was your biggest challenge that you faced while you were in college?
Probably like every other student in college is the fact that once you leave home, you've got that little bit of freedom, and you've got all this freedom you don't really know what to do with, and sometimes it can get you into trouble. So, I just had to stay away from that. I just had to stay focused on my academics, and, I love to hang out with my friends and go to events and things like that. But after I got my first B in college, I thought, okay, I've got to stop all this partying, hanging out, stuff like that. Let's get focused on our academics. That's what I did, and I'm so grateful for that.
So what did it mean to you to be a first-generation college student?
At the time, to be honest with you, I didn't really know what that meant until I started working in higher education. And my mother, she was a single mother for a long time. And then she married my stepdad when I was 11 years old. And she never had the chance to go to college because she was one of 11 kids. And her guidance counselor, even though she made good grades, always told her that you'll never go to college because she didn't think that they could afford it. So my mother always instilled in us and her children that education was very important and that she wanted a better life for us. So getting to come to school, and because she worked here at Lindsay, let me reiterate or emphasize something here, is that I got a free education because she worked here. And she sacrificed, so much so that we would get to come to college and get a good education. So it means the world to me.
So what factors do you think ultimately led to you being successful in completing your degree?
Staying focused, making sure that you reach out to your professors. If you have, if you're having trouble in a class, don't just give up. Go talk to your professors. Always seek that open door policy, and just have open communication with your professors. If you're having trouble in a class or you can't be at a class, just make sure that you're always communicating with them and letting them know the circumstances behind that. But staying focused and just attendance is huge. That's what I tell our students in the classes that I teach, is that if you show up, you try, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So just stay positive, stay focused, and always communicate with your professors.
So obviously you went on and obtained a master's degree.
I did.
What made you go on and do that?
I knew in order to be competitive in any job, whether I stayed at Lindsay or went on somewhere else, that I had to obtain a higher degree. I was really burnt out, I'm not going to lie, whenever I graduated with my bachelor's. So I wanted to take a little break, and I wanted to focus on getting married, and that's what I did. So about 4.5 years later, I decided to go get my master's in higher education with an emphasis in student affairs because I loved it. I loved higher education. And of course, when you go into college, higher education isn't something that you think you want to major in. And at that time, I didn't. Like I said earlier, I thought I wanted to go into the medical field. But I got my master's in that, and I'm very happy. I love what I do.
Any future plans to go on and further pursue
I think
education?
other people have plans for me to go on and get my doctorate. Right now, I want to stay focused on my family, and who knows, 5 years from now, I may change my mind. But right now, I'm perfectly content and just grateful that I've completed my bachelor's, completed my master's, and am happy and thoroughly enjoy a job that I love, and to be at Lindsay Wilson at a place that I love.
This is our last question, and this is one of my favorite questions to ask because it always elicits some of the best responses that we get. What would be the one best piece of advice you could offer to other first-generation college students?
Don't be highly influenced by others. Stay true to who you are. And again, stay focused on those academics because it's imperative in this day and age to graduate with a degree. And if you don't stay focused on your academics, you can't do that. So to stay competitive in this day and age with the economy the way that it is just to remain focused with your academics.
Amy, thank you so much for your time today, and everyone join us each week for another episode of First Generation Friday.
Good luck.